Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people.
Good morning, Max.
Good morning. How you doing? What a great morning.
Why are you so chipper?
Well, I just finished my coffee.
Ah,
Why are you
I
so
too.
are you also chipper?
I'm also having coffee. Look at that.
Fun. You know what I love about
Mm.
coffee?
What do
The
you
the
love about
drug
coffee?
that it's a vehicle for the drug that I adore, which is caffeine.
You had powdered caffeine in your place, I remember, and that means anything can be the vehicle for the drug that you adore.
That's true. I did have powdered caffeine, and I it was
Caffeinated peanut butter?
horrifying that everything about that was horrifying. The fact that they make powdered caffeine, the fact that I could buy it from GNC or whatever fitness store I bought it from, the
I
fact that it
recall it
came
was
in
a
like a
good.
it was like a half-pound bag or something.
Yeah,
It
unmarked.
was a big bag. It looked like a yeah, it looked like a small bag of protein, basically. Or I don't know, like a giant bag of coffee, I guess. Anyway, that
Or
was a
baking
size bag.
soda.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a huge, and so yeah, the powdery inside was baking soda consistency. And so I started playing around with it, and my friend who actually told me to get it, he was a YouTuber, and he was like, "Oh man, I don't have any Adderall or anything, but I do have this powdered caffeine." And he gave us some, and my hair lit on fire. My smoke was coming out of my ears and eyes and nose and butt and everything. It was outrageous, and so I was like, "Yeah, I definitely should get some of that for myself, obviously." And so I bought it, and he was like, "Yeah, just be really careful with it. Like, go really, really light." And then I looked on this serving size, and it was like, I think it said like eighth of a teaspoon or something. And so if you look at an eighth of a teaspoon, it's smaller than a dime. It's about the
It's a
size of my
pinch.
finger, my pinky nail, and it's not very, an eighth of a teaspoon is very, very, very little. So I put an eighth of a teaspoon in, and I just put in some water and I chugged it, some orange juice or something, and I thought my heart was going to explode. I immediately started sweating, like it hit like a ton of bricks. It was so bad. And then so I would literally do a pinch, like pinch it between my fingers and dust it
Real
into like a cup
scientific.
of coffee, you know? And I would still get jittery and it would wake me up. And so in one sense, it worked great. In another sense, it was incredibly dangerous, because I looked it up and they're like, if you eat too much, you can easily instantly die. You know what I mean? A protein scoop size of this, sh shaken into a blended drink or a protein drink or whatever. I chug my protein pretty quickly, typically, especially if it's not very good. I'll just sort of down it. So if I had done that my first time, if I had done like a big scoop or too much, I probably would have, that would have been the end of my story. He died doing what
He
he loved, I
died.
suppose,
Yeah.
drinking protein shakes. But yeah, it was
Yeah, or
horrifying. It's horrifying to think that I could buy that and just get it for, 18, $20, whatever it was. Like it's literal easy to kill you poison. Easy to kill your accidentally off yourself poison. Like everything about it was just
tasteless.
horrifying. And so then it was bitter. So at least there's that. So like it didn't taste very good. So that's something that might stop you from accidentally
Killing yourself.
ODing, I suppose. But
Jeez.
yeah.
Well, imagine using it like baking soda by accident, and
Right?
now you got caffeine cupcakes.
Yeah. Yeah. I made an apple pie. Oops, you're dead.
Is it a viable way to kill someone?
I don't know. And I might be overstating it because I'm a little like paranoid about it, but I'm pretty sure you can off yourself or someone or anyone, or it's deadly-ish. Too much is pretty bad for your heart and body and brain and everything else that you could possibly want to do.
Dave Grohl went to the hospital from drinking too much coffee. He would
Wow.
count
I
his
mean,
coffee in pots.
pots, yeah. Now I count my espresso. I really hold myself back from doing a second espresso per day. I
Second
have an espresso
double?
machine. I have an espresso machine, and I actually don't even think I told you this. Actually, I don't know if I want to tell.
That
Well,
you're bougie?
I'll delete this. I'll delete the post before this goes public. But there's a message board about espresso, and everyone is like so snooty about it, and they're getting scales to weigh their beans, and they're oh, it's 18.6 grams. Well, I did 18.4, and then you do the extraction and you put it in the portafilter and you do the little note. It's the level of intricacy and obsession that is just reserved for extreme comic book nerds and Dungeons and Dragons dorks, and
Or fitness geeks?
gambling addicts and stuff like that, and fitness geeks. Exactly. So I posted what they'll do is a recurring thing is people will post their morning coffee routine. This is my workflow. Why don't you tell me what I could improve? And then they show the espresso shot being pulled through the bottom of the portafilter or whatever. And so I posted mine, and I didn't it's basically what I do, but I did a couple of things that I knew would drive people insane. And the post exploded, and all the comments were like, this can't be real. I don't this oh my god, this is making me sick. I'm gonna die. Like this is making me wanna this can't be real. He's messing with us, guys. There's no chance this is how he really does this. No, dude, I think it is real. Like, look at how like seasoned he is with doing the thing. It's so natural. No way, dude. There's no way he wouldn't clean that thing before he did this thing. Like, no, look at how those grounds are awful. And then my title was like, this is my work, or this is my workflow. What would you change or whatever? And the comments were like, I would change everything. The only if you like the espresso, don't change a thing. If you actually want a good espresso, I would change every single step. I hate this. I
Wait,
would
you're
change
manic
you.
reading.
Like, they were so funny, and it was just hundreds of comments, and I'm like crying laughing because I'm just like so like it absolutely was a full troll job, but
Wow.
it
Not a
was and it
single person
wasn't
defending
because
you? I mean, I guess or you were anonymous, right? So
s-
someone's like, shut
no,
up, Max is great.
no, it was I was anonymous. It was under a throwaway account, and
Oh
I
God.
some people were defending me because they were like, dude, that is so funny. I used to have that grinder in like college before I actually knew what I was doing. Or this guy's whole setup probably costs like $30. What a genius, some people were getting in and out of it, and it was funny because it was incendiary, inflammatory, whatever you want to call it. But it was hysterical to see the people just melting down over, because they're obsessed with this thing. And then I made
Melting
this post
down.
like, "Is this how you do it?" You know, it's like if someone was like trying to posted a video about doing like curls, and they're just like throwing a weight up in the air and catching it in the other arm, and you're like, oh my god. You know what I mean?
Well, it is explosive power.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
was really
so
pumped about it.
great. I love that you pumped about it. Like, what a great day. It's how you spend your
Oh
time.
god, it was so funny. And then yeah, they were like, I don't
So,
this can't be real was my favorite. Like their ability to like their inability to grasp that this, you know what I mean? It made their
yeah.
reality. It made them question their reality. That really made me just so tickled.
Is this AI?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So there were parts that you added that were clearly awful, or is your actual routine pretty awful compared to what these people would do?
So compared to what my routine is cheap and standard and easy, like training wheels level, you're still
Got it.
riding a bike, but it's not bicycle riding. Um, the grinder that I use is apparently like not that good. Although the good grinders that they suggest to buy are literal coffee grinders, are minimum $600, maximum $50,000. Do you know what I mean? the espresso
Whoa.
machine that they're, the portafilter, like every little thing is just so dialed in and minute. It's at that level of crazy wine people
Yeah.
or crazy automobile people, or when someone like they air quotes, they
Artisan.
have a hobby, but the hobby is like outrageously expensive, and you're like, okay, well, you're just rich and
CrossFit.
bored, dude. Yeah, well,
Hockey.
at least that's difficult. It would be like
Mm.
polo or
Polo feels difficult.
uh like hella skiing, or you know what I mean, like stuff like that, like oh, my hobby is flipping houses, or commercial real estate. I'm like, that's your hobby? Okay, dude. Got it. Thanks, man. Like,
When people get that
it,
super dialed in on food and the nuances of it, it's always a bad tasting thing. No
mm,
one's like, "Oh, let me perfect eggs or ice cream in the slightest
I know.
change and the greatest equipment."
Although I will say, I looked up, I mean, this is embarrassing, but I was making hard-boiled eggs yesterday.
Hmm.
Because I found we went to Costco. I got the 26, or like the 24, 36 pack of eggs or something. I brought it home. I moved a thing of bread in my fridge. I was like, oh, look at that. There's another dozen eggs that I didn't know was there. So now,
You
and it
refrigerate your
expires on
bread?
Friday. Wonderful. What's that? Brittany
You refrigerate your
refrigerates our bread. Yeah, that's awful. Well, now I only eat toast. I never eat room temperature bread anymore. It
There's
keeps
nothing in
it,
between.
yeah, it keeps it not moldy longer, I suppose, but it also tastes, I mean, it's terrible. Whatever. So anyway, I was making hard-boiled eggs, and Brittany goes, last time I made hard-boiled eggs, it was such a pain to peel the shell. You should like look up, see if there's any hacks or anything. So I went on TikTok and I looked up how
TikTok.
to boil eggs,
I
thinking
can't
like
believe
this is
that's a thing
embarrassing.
on
This is
TikTok now instead of Google.
First of all, well, the reason for that is very, very simple. One is that
You want it in 30
I don't
seconds.
use Google anymore because I want a video explanation. Google will tell me, and I want someone to show me.
You kidding me?
Two is
I
that
love a
I
good
no
wiki
longer
how, and you can
use,
speed through it. I don't have to sit there while somebody takes their time talking. Time-based media is so annoying.
well, that's assuming your skimming abilities don't skip a major step, like only put a pinch of caffeine into your thing, not 2 cups of baking powder.
My watching abilities skip major steps. I'm like, oh wow, this guy's
Yeah.
shirt sucks. Wait, what did he say?
Yeah. Yeah, like you watch something and you're like, this is boring. Where's the TV? Wait a minute, where's the phone? Wait a minute, where's the TV?
uh,
Anyway, so the reason I used to you remember YouTube uh
remember
got huge
YouTube?
for a little bit because it was a viable search engine. People were using it instead of Google. That's another reason why it got huge. And now that's, I think, my personal take is that's why TikTok is getting a big boost, is because I go to YouTube and I watch a how-to video and I have to sit through two unskippable 30-second ads.
And it's
Whereas
a
I go to
20-minute
TikTok and boom,
video.
boom, it's an immediate thing. No, not if it's a 20-minute video. How to boil eggs.
No, I mean on YouTube, things are all 20 minutes now. They're rewarding
Yeah.
longer
Oh, and it's a 20
videos.
minute. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, I went to TikTok, looked up how to boil eggs, and when I tell you there was like dozens of videos on how to boil eggs, I'm like, this is so stupid. And why does, whoa, that's a huge difference between 8 minutes and 12 minutes. like, like they totally got me. So anyway,
Wow.
yeah, they got me. They got
Imagine
me so hard.
waking up and being like, you know what? I should put a tutorial about boiling eggs on TikTok today. And
You know what the
then
world needs? Another tutorial on how to boil eggs.
another fitness podcast.
Well, at least, I mean, you know what I saw too is an identical comedy video that someone made,
The
someone
copy.
else recreated an identical
Uh,
comedy video. I'm like, that to me is the low point of civilization. I guess that AI is getting there, but
What do you mean? We do that all the
So,
time. That's what trends are. That's what TikTok
I
is.
know.
It was somebody does
I know.
something and everyone else does that exact thing.
Exact. It's the worst. It's so weird because growing up, that was like the most embarrassing thing you could be was
Copycats.
like plagiarize or copycat or lip syncing. Remember some band got into huge trouble because they were lip syncing at their concert and then they like got
Yeah, Milli
early
Vanilli.
canceled. Milli
Now people
Vanilli.
make tons of money doing it.
Now
Lip sync battle. We have
there's
celebrities doing
celebrity
it.
lip sync. There's celebrity lip sync TV show, right?
Hmm.
And it's insanely popular. LL Cool J. Yeah, what's up, LL?
Yeah, that is
Anyway,
crazy.
that's my old man shouting at the clouds kind of rant for today is that I don't understand the just like word for, like you can do your own twist on something. You
Which
can
probably
add
still is
something
copy.
to it,
Yeah.
which is not copying verbatim.
It's
That's
still
doing your own.
derivative.
Well, everything's derivative. I
It's
can
true.
understand that argument. Every joke you've ever heard, probably they said it somewhere in the Bible in some sort of way. You know.
Jesus did it.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah, boiled eggs.
But
What were we
see,
talking
and
about
then you
boiled
get
eggs for?
punished for being original. My whole
Oh my
goal
God.
of my art videos, well, if I think of an idea, I Google and make sure that no one's done it, or I YouTube and make sure it's not been done before. And so
I
then
know.
the algorithm is like, what is this? I don't
What
know.
is this
This is
garbage?
new and different, and it doesn't, I don't know where to put it in my organized shelves of things that everyone does. I guess we won't show anyone.
Uh, the worst. Anyway, but yeah, it's the worst. But I think that's a niche problem that you and I have. I think the world is not. I don't know. I mean, people want new TV shows, and the only thing people do is cancel TV shows. People love going back and watching Friends for the 20th time over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
I
do it.
guess. I never got it.
I watch old TV shows,
They're not friends. Friends don't
but
let friends watch friends.
I know Friends is the worst.
Okay, good. I thought I knew that about you.
I made some video, one of my early viral TikToks that was like, I was watching Friends and I noticed this one crazy thing, and then it was just a clip of Friends, and then at the end it said, "It sucks." And then when I tell you the comment the like the fandom that came down on me, it's like these coffee nerds, like they were like, dude, what is your problem? You don't even know. Like, you've obviously never watched it. Like, how can you say that, dude? It's the funniest show ever. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, but then I guess that's part of it though, is that I was tickled to get a rise at everybody.
Coffee nerds is now a part of our lexicon.
God, it was. I'll send you the post before I delete it. It was so funny, and they're just like melting down. Oh, but anyway, so that was the thing. So I did, even though they're all like ripped on me for X, Y, and Z, I did change one thing that I thought would. I had been thinking about changing for a while, which is that in an espresso machine, there's two types of. Um, it's called a portafilter, but it's that metal cup that you put the grounds in. You ever got
Mhm.
an espresso? Okay.
Yes, back in the day.
There's a pressurized, and now the new thing is non-pressurized, unpressurized, whatever it's called. It's called a portafilter, but it's the cup holder. So I got one of those, and it seems to make a significant difference. But it's hard because when I was playing around with it the other day, I usually make one espresso, and that's it. That's my caffeine for the day. Obviously, I, I just try to keep a lid on it. But I also try to just not go crazy because I've had those nights where I'm like, why is my heart beating 1,000 miles an hour? And it's 1 p.m. Blah, blah, blah. So, but the other day I was playing around with like a new workflow and how to make a new one, and then I realized I'd put down like 3 or 4 espressos all of a sudden just because I'm cranking them out. I'm like, oh, that one doesn't look that good. That one doesn't look that good. And I'm like, I'm like, oh yeah, I better chill out. So anyway, I love caffeine and I love pre-workout obviously and energy drinks, but I definitely know that they're bad for me in a way that I limit as much as I can. I got skinny fat on Red Bulls at my when I was drinking them I would crash in the afternoons obviously when I had my office job, and it might have been the gigantic, forearm length Italian sub that I was having every single day for lunch. Uh, but I think the energy drinks made me skinny fat. Um,
Were you having full
I think
calorie?
one of the most well, I was having full calorie, and then I switched to low, and then I switched to zero, and then or I'm sorry, zero sugar, low sugar. Um, but yeah, I was having full calorie. Actually, the most important thing I ever did was look up how much caffeine in like an actual a number amount is in a cup
Red
of
Bull's not even
coffee.
that bad.
Red
We
Bull's not
back
that
in
bad
my day, we were
considering.
concerned about Red Bull, 80 milligrams a serving, and now Logan Paul is serving kids 200 milligrams a serving. It's crazy.
Jim Molly, that crazy pre-workout company that I work with all the time, there's just like
Yeah.
300 a can. I have to drink like a can. I have to drink it in thirds.
Yeah. I'll measure it out. I got a drug scale for my powdered pre-workout. I have one
Nice.
that's
Drug scale.
395. The stuff that we had when we did the video wearing Zozo Fit at your gym, that was
Oh yeah.
395 per serving. Oh, okay, that brand has 395 per serving, but we had was zero caffeine. I've also been doing no stim pre-workout, which is pointless.
So what is stim?
Stim is caffeine. They're just saying no stimulant in the
So
pre-workout.
no stim pre-workout. What is a no stim pre-workout? Because I thought pre-workout
You still get
was
an itchy face.
stim. Nice.
That's all. That's really all the reason I do it. Yeah, the beta
Fun.
alanine makes you want to rip your eyes out. Although you can get a tolerance to that too. Have you
Oh
gotten to
God.
the point where you don't get an itchy face? Because that happens. It's just like caffeine.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
was taking it all the time, I just loved it. God, I loved it. It was such a good feeling.
C4. How fun.
T4. I talk about Jack 3D all the time. But oddly enough, weren't you the one that was telling me that Starbucks sneaks in a little extra caffeine into their coffee?
Yeah, theirs is high compared to the average. You say an 8 ounce cup of coffee is 80 milligrams about, but theirs is higher. And also, no one's having 8 ounces of coffee for sure.
Okay, let's see. How much
One of my
caffeine is in my cup of Starbucks or a Dunkin'? Pike Place Roast, 20-ounce venti, 400 milligrams. Holy moly. Blonde roast,
one of
60, a
my
grande blonde roast, 360.
and also these are estimates that it
Yeah.
definitely
Oh my
varies
God.
from cup to cup. Shervin Shares has a fitness channel. He's been on in some of my videos. We should get him on the podcast. But he got an actual caffeine tester where you
Oh,
put
cool.
the coffee into this device and it'll tell you how much caffeine is in it per milligrams
And
per deciliter or whatever. However, you can compare. And he went to a lot of places like
horrifying.
this, Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, and they were all lies. They weren't exactly what it said on their menu.
Were they over or under or just off?
Yeah, I think it was both. I'll have to watch again, or we'll just bring
Yeah.
him on and have him talk about it because it's funny. The device is really
Yeah.
expensive. I don't know how he got a hold of it, and he wore a lab coat the whole time, which
Probably
was made me convinced.
he probably bought it and then returned it on Amazon.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What's his name used to do that? Some YouTuber used to do that all the time. Used to buy crazy props and then return everything on Amazon. I think he got his account like banned.
Oh, you're not talking about me?
Did
Earlier
you get
when you were
banned?
talking about no, not banned, but I certainly
Okay. I
this
returned
ties
a
into
good
two
amount.
parts of our conversation now. Earlier when you were like, This has to be a joke. He's got to be kidding. This isn't real. Uh, Yesterday, I remember I just moved to a new place, had to
Mhm.
record myself playing a marching snare. And so of course I did that in my backyard at my new house. And of course I purchased a marching snare,
Typical.
$400 on Amazon. This thing's a beaut.
Yeah,
It's going back, so
of
it did
course.
what it needed, and now it's going back. But my
Obviously.
neighbor who already acquired
New neighbor?
Christine's phone number somehow, yeah, new neighbor, was
Oh boy.
freaking out. It's the middle of the day. I can marching band practice if I want. What the heck?
Yeah.
So I finished
There's
recording and then I went
if we
over.
if we can have
What?
leaf blowers going in the
Yeah,
rain, or like if we can have leaf blowers going on a windy day, yes, I can do whatever whatever. This is
exactly.
You
I'm
don't live
like,
in
this is softer
Montana, you
than a
live in downtown
mower.
LA.
You want me to turn
Yeah.
my mower on instead? It wasn't even
You live
early in
in
the
an
morning. It
urban
was
city,
2.
like
Yeah,
10, 2 afternoon. Oh yeah.
yeah. So whatever, I
Ridiculous.
went over to apologize, and this little old lady was like, "Oh, I just could. It had to be. I thought it was a joke. I couldn't believe it. This can't be real." And then she was like, "I thought you hired someone to terrorize us." And I was like, "No,
What?
I can definitely terrorize you without having to pay anything."
Honey, I can do that on my own for free.
Yeah, like, wait. Now I'm kind of insulted. Like, oh, do you think women can't play a marching snare? Is that what you're saying?
Uh, well, she was just like confused. Did you tell her that to strap in because living next to you is going to be quite the roller coaster?
I was like, oh no, we never party. I just, I shoot my little videos sometimes, but I'll try
Right.
and
We
be
never party,
respectful.
but you might wake up to a 30-foot Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton tomorrow staring into your bedroom. Don't worry about it. There's no camera. I turned the camera in his mouth off, so you won't. It's totally fine.
I do see her being a character on my channel moving forward for sure.
Yeah. Bad. Bad.
So yeah, sending back a marching snare today. I'm sure.
Good.
See, there's plenty that I keep. Amazon is fine with it because they do make money on me. I can't return this velvet toilet, so I mean, that'd be
Yeah.
funny though. Altering stuff and
Well, it's
then
is it
returning it.
used?
I mean, technically, no. It's
Yeah.
not been crafted.
Altogether. I don't think you can start that. I wouldn't start with Amazon. I would start with like because they just send you like you'd have to do like a mom, maybe not a mom and pop, but like a smaller chain.
Like a Target, I thought
Because then
about
you'd
this.
you'd get a funny
Where I
response. If you just did Amazon, they'd be like, nope, goodbye. That'd be just not a
Right.
content.
Well, if you could get it back on the shelf, right? Okay, say you buy a white t-shirt and then you iron whatever crazy logo on it and then
Uh-huh.
return that and then get it back on the shelf and then see someone else purchase it. That's the joke.
What you might want to do is if you did that, you'd have to have a sticker on it that said like, if found, please return to at
Or yeah, something in the label like
my
call
tweet
me if
name
you own
or
this, yeah.
a QR code or something like that. Although it's kind of it'd be harmless if you did it, but it is sketchy. Like just having QR codes out can be a little dangerous. Should we do a PSA on that?
What?
Like
I don't know.
scanning a
Oh,
QR
scanning someone
code.
else's QR code? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. People were talking about it when they put a QR code up during the Super Bowl and,
yeah.
millions of people scanned it or whatever. But yeah. Oh,
It can be
now I'm
dangerous.
thinking, where can we put QR codes, cover over what's on a menu at a restaurant and get people to go to our thing instead?
Oh, I know. Well, I had one on my shirt. Remember? I had a Snapchat one.
Oh, nice.
I had my Snapchat on my. Do they still do that dot thing? That like dot logo or
I think so.
is that a QR code?
It is a snap code. I think it's their
Snap
specific
code.
programming that works within
I had
Snapchat.
one on my shirt for a while, and But it was also a shirt with my own face on it all over the front. So I'm like, how egotistical. How gigantic of my head possibly get?
Well, depends on how much chest room you have.
Right, exactly. Well, speaking of, I just did my Zozo fit. I did a Zozo the other day because I lost 25 pounds or whatever.
How's that go?
And
25?
chest went down.
That's
Bummer.
the only one that matters.
I know.
It's fine.
42,
Did we?
40, 42.9. So 43, I guess. It's a bummer.
Well, it happens on a cut. There's
I
nothing you can
know.
do about it.
It was 43.4. Now it's 42.9. Ooh.
That is such a small difference. Come on. You're
Point
fine.
0.5.
You're still stage ready.
Neck went up. Yes. Shoulders
Wolverine.
went up. Upper arm went up. Waist went down. Hips went up. Thighs went up. Calf
See, if
stayed the
waist
same.
went down, visually, in effect, chest went up. That's how it works. It's all
Yeah,
relative.
that's true. That's very true.
I
It's all
never work on getting
relative.
waist down. Man, who was it that we had on? I forget his name, where he was like, CrossFitters don't ever do this lateral thing, so then they're just really trunk wide. And
Oh, yeah. You know what I
I'm
saw the
like,
other day
huh,
actually, which I
I am
thought
a tube.
I've done before. A cylinder. You might want to do next time you have a dumb barbell, and I've done this before, so be really, really, really careful with it. Get a barbell on your back and just spin, twist, do some
Interesting.
twisties. It's hard. Be really careful because it's a lot of
Because it just
momentum.
takes
Go
you,
really
yeah.
slow.
Whoop.
Yeah, and so you're essentially you're pushing it to start the momentum from a twist, and you're slowing it down
Oh, that's fun.
before you twist your entire
How
spine in half,
fun.
and kill yourself. So be really careful, go really light. But it is a nice little like I remember feeling it like crazy. But you can't do it because you'll hit somebody, and you can't do it in a gym
Sure.
because people are like, "Whoa, dude, watch out." But if
Chill.
you're doing these
I
alone
got a
workouts, that
yard.
might be a really nice thing for you.
Let's
Yeah.
go. I'm trying to find a video of this. I just did rows, dumbbell rows, except with barbells. So imagine that bent over dumbbell, except
Oh,
you're
two
holding two
barbells.
barbells. And it was
How did you do that?
awesome.
Were you standing on a box or something? You're so short.
Hey, they're
Are
horizontal.
your legs taller than one plate? No.
Oh, I just had the barbells. I didn't put any plates on. So it's
Oh,
235s. I mean,
okay.
whatever. I
Okay.
row 40. So it's just a little lower.
Whoa.
I
Flex
know.
on them.
Uh-huh. Could be 45 if I was ego lifting, which I don't, because I'm very well
Egoless.
tempered. Yes. I don't know the videos, but
My
you can
ego
picture it. Ego.
rowing two barbells. My ego is
Yeah.
completely
So now you
dedicated
got to
to
control
my
your
physical
wrist.
beauty.
Your grip is going forward and backward. You got to be centered on two of them. And then
And
they're also
you
going like
can't
this, hitting
have
each other, right? Yeah.
clang, 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 clang. Yeah. Your poor neighbor.
Uh,
You should try to get to a point where have you ever done the Thor lift where you
I've
pick up a
tried.
bar?
It's impossible.
Is it? I've never tried it. I don't
It looks
think I
easy.
have
It's
access
one of
to
those
it very
things where
well.
it's like, if you pull it off, people are like, meh. But it's really
Yeah.
hard.
Have you ever tried to lift it's
You
a
wait.
barbell with one
Let's
plate.
explain the Thor lift for the fit heads. It's you're talking about the one that hold the end of a barbell, and so two
You take
hands
a
all
barbell
the
and
way on one end.
and there's nothing, or is there stuff on the other side? I can't remember.
No, it's just a
It's just a
barbell, so
barbell.
probably a 45. I've seen women try and do it with 35 and still can't. But you're not allowed to go past
And
the collar. Is that what it's called? Or no,
yeah,
yeah, the sleeve. Your hands are
wherever
on the
the
sleeve
plate
only.
slides into the end,
Yeah.
your hand is all the way at the end. Both of your hands are all the way at the end. You try to just lift it, what, off the ground? Is it? I can't,
Yeah,
I'm trying
that's
to
it.
picture
Just
it.
get it off the ground. and it's really
There's
hard.
another there's another version of that where you put like a bunch of you put a plate or two on one side and nothing on the other, and you try to pick it up. And
Yes,
nobody could do it.
I saw a
But the
super
trick is you
jacked guy
put
doing it, struggling, and I'm like, I could do that.
yeah, well
Why are
the
you
trick
super
is you
jacked?
lift it from the plate side, and so you're just off center. And like the
Yeah,
guy who did it, it was a montage of people failing to do it, and then they were like, this one guy actually paid attention in physics class or whatever.
physics
And he
class.
goes all the way over to the weight side and picks it up. Archimedes over here.
Archimedes. So I just finished my coffee. It was decaf.
So you're on the decaf coffee train, huh? How's decaf? Do you order decaf at coffee shops? Is that embarrassing?
Yeah, a lot of times it's a stupid Americana because they don't have decaf drip. I hate that.
Yeah.
So, oh,
I
see,
like
you know,
Americanos.
you're a coffee nerd.
Yeah.
Americana
You don't like Americano.
is Americano. Okay, whatever. It's not like I'm Italian. It in Italy,
It's called
they do
posta.
espresso. Yeah.
Spaghetti and moat bowls. Wait,
Chef
spaghetti and
Boyardee.
yeah, just replace all the A's with O's. Hey, buddy.
Um, okay, so an espresso is a common thing in Italy, and filtered coffee is
Espresso.
common in America. Espresso. Oh my God, you should go on that message board and say and type
Hey guys,
espresso.
just wanted to explain how I'm doing my espresso. Oh God.
Explosion. So Americans went to Italy and were like, I would like a big brown drip coffee. What the heck is this little thing? And Italians were like, oh yeah, yeah, I got you. And then they put water into an espresso and gave it back to them. And that's
Yep.
stupid and sucks. But now people
Yep.
order that an Americano, that's why it's called that.
Yeah. It might as well be called like
And
a dumb Americano. That's the
right.
implication.
But it's a thing that people order now, like it's good. So I hate
Yeah.
that. But I guess, you know, it,
I don't mind
it,
Americanos. You don't like Americanos?
no, yeah, no,
You
I
know
would
what I'd
rather have a
do? You know what else I'll
filtered
do, which is
coffee.
gross too? And this is something that I know I've made up because I've never seen anyone else do it. I will, because I would order an Americano at the coffee shop, and I'd see them, and they take a boiling water and a tiny cup of espresso and dump it in, mix it around. I'm like, that's gross. Anyway, so in the espresso machine, you can keep running the espresso, and it just gets like your first shot is done, and then that's it. And then they say like that's all. But what I would do is I would just let the water keep going until it filled up a full cup.
I've heard that the further you steep into the grinds, the crappier it gets. It doesn't get more
Right.
caffeinated, it just gets more bitter and bleh, and
Well, it's the flavor profile that they're talking about. But I think
yeah.
the problem was the thing I was using was doing such little extraction in the beginning. So I was saying
Extraction. Oh,
the
you are one of
portafilter I was
them.
using wasn't really working that well. So I would just let it run forever. Now that's why the one I'm using now, I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'm just kind of buzzing off the walls when I'm watching this thing. So it's
That's the point of
possible.
a ristretto, right? It's restrained. You just get the first half, the good half of an
Hey,
espresso, and then the rest
ristretto
are in it.
yourself.
That's fine. We'll just throw it out.
Ugh, yeah, it's gross. I'm basically like drinking the foam. I'm like rubbing my nose and putting my finger in the foam at the top of the beer and then just drinking it. Whereas like other countries, have you ever been to European countries where they get it from the tap and then they like take a flat like it looks like a thing you mix
Nice.
paint
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
It's like a spatula looking thing. And then they'll fill it up and then once the foam starts overflowing the glass, they'll just like flick it off the top of the beer and then hand it to you. Did you
I've
did you
seen
know that
it.
that's
I've
real?
never had that.
It works and it's so good. And it made me just think of all the times I'm playing beer pong with like Natty Ice or Keystone Light or whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, it's just almost good. Basically the same thing. Oh, God,
Oh yeah,
so
the
funny.
nose trick, and everybody did it. We're all
It was
just drinking
so
our own
gross.
nose oil.
I know. I mean, yeah. And also the ball bouncing off the floor with the cat hair and the crumbs from my shoes and the yeah, that was pretty gross. But yeah, my reasoning was always whatever, dude, the alcohol will just kill whatever.
Yeah,
But I
sure.
think the real reasoning was we're young enough that our immune systems are like working overtime, superhuman immune systems that we're just like,
Yeah.
whatever. We
If
need more
anything, it
germs
probably
anyway.
helped.
Yeah, we gotta
I think I told you I'm
diversify.
reading Ben Greenfield's Boundless. I'm still not through it, but there's a whole section where he's like, "Let your kids eat poop." He actual says that. It's like, I don't care. My kid rolls around with goats and he's just filthy.
Ugh,
Sometimes I don't even
God,
wash
it's
them. You should
gross.
not wash your kids every day. Just just let it happen, which is definitely the opposite of what was in my brain. So well, maybe we should all just go play
Yeah.
pong.
When's the last time you played beer
So
pong?
what's that?
When's the last time you played beer pong?
I've never played beer pong. Do you not know this about me? I refuse to play beer pong.
Ugh, fun. You know, it's like one of the, I saw, you know what I saw? I saw this great comedy skit the other day, and it was here's the premise of the comedy skit. Ready? The girl says to the guy, "Oh, what's your favorite Christmas movie?" And the guy says, "Die Hard." And the girl says, "Oh, I didn't realize." And the guy says, "You didn't realize Die Hard was a Christmas movie? I'm so glad you asked that. I love talking about this. It's a Christmas movie because blah blah." And she goes, "Oh no 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 no, I knew that. I didn't realize you were a jerk." And he's like, "Oh totally. I'm one of those just people that's just exhausting to be around because I have these ridiculous things that I like stand up for no reason whatsoever. Like, oh, I don't know, I'll never watch Star Wars, or I've never played beer pong, or I'll never wear matching socks and shoes, or
My socks always match.
excuse pardon. Well, someone who wouldn't wear matching socks sounds exhausting, don't they? Just to always be around and be like, oh yeah, you do this, that thing. That sounds fun.
Maybe
It's
you're not
fun,
fit
fun.
enough to handle how exhausting I make you.
That's very true. It's true.
Yeah,
Just sounds
no.
exhausting. Never playing,
It,
refusing to play. So you refuse to play
it's
beer pong, or what's
It was a
on
germ
principle?
thing. It's gross. I wanted to
They
do
play
a
with water
video where I
cups.
make a hermetically sealed room and we're all in hazmat suits and everything is sterilized and then you can play. It'd be really funny. Just this all white room and we go in through an airlock to get in there and then it would be the
Oh,
first
I
time
get
that I
it.
would ever play Pong. But you know what? The algorithm wouldn't know what to do with that.
Right, they definitely not. And then we can rip cigarettes in there too.
Uh,
They
I
play with water
mean,
now.
I know. Yeah, I have done that
Uh-huh.
and I'm not good.
But it's not real. It's not real.
Are you
There's
good at
something
Pong? You
about
are,
it
aren't
that's
you?
just
This it's not
at
real. It
one
doesn't
point in
count.
doesn't count. At one point I was incredible. It and without there's it's hard to say these things without sounding like a jerk, but I'll just do it anyway. I was the best player that I had ever seen for at one point. I have since lost
Wow.
that. I
Okay, so
have
you've
I
seen
am
someone
now
better, is what it
probably
is.
I am worse than I was.
Ah,
And I am and when I say I'm worse, I am horrendously as if I had never played before, almost.
it's
Like
a
I'm
muscle?
so bad now. Yep. It's something.
Why do
I
I
don't know what
feel
it is.
like LeBron, if he took some time off, would still be pretty good at
Yeah.
basketball?
If LeBron took 400 years off from basketball, then tried to play again, that is the level of where I was and where I am currently.
Huh.
LeBron is LeBron is long dead, and his body has turned has re his body has turned into a tree or whatever.
Sure.
That's the level of and if that tree tried to play basketball, that's the level of me playing beer pong now.
Sure.
That's how bad
Are
it
you
is.
bummed
It's
about that? I
unbelievable.
feel like if the time that I
Yeah,
stopped doing
kind
muscle
of.
ups, I'm gonna be like, I used to, and so
Back in my
you
day,
feel like
in my
what
heyday.
you would have had to keep it up though, like a couple times a week, just set up beer pong for yourself to stay greased.
It's I can't believe how bad. Like you'd think that, yeah, like you're saying, I don't really play golf, but I've played golf before. I feel like I can swing a club, and you give me an afternoon, and I'll get you something passable. I don't play tennis anymore, but I did play, and I feel like I could,
Shake the rust off.
be yeah, exactly. But man, beer pong, I am so, so, so bad. It's incredible how bad I got. And you know, it really is weird. I wonder if it's just me or if it's other people. I mean, obviously you've never
I
played, so
wouldn't know.
you wouldn't know, but like to shake
It
the,
makes it
it's
even more
there.
impressive how good you were. You must have been playing a
Yeah,
whole lot.
I was playing. I mean, I had a table in my living room, and we used to play every single night. It was incredible. It was so much fun. We played in the summers between college when I would have my own apartment. We would play every night, and my first couple of
What's your
years out of
nighttime
college,
routine? Oh, pong.
it was crazy too because, and that's the other thing. Like you think about the stuff you used to be able to do. The summers between college, we would play beer pong every night. Four of us would kill 60 beers. And then I'd get up and go to work the next day at like, and I would work in an office at 9, and I'd be like, this is kind of tough, but whatever. My friends would work construction. They'd getting up at like 5, get to the work site by 6 or whatever. And it was, and eat meatball subs for lunch and dinner. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
the trash that we used to just do. It's insane. And then just get up and do
So
it
is
again
it
every
another
day.
thing where we're out of
Right?
practice? Like, well, I am now the tree trying to have a drink at night when in my day I was so good at this. Can we get it
Yeah.
back? Just rehearse more.
I think your body. I would like to think that if I got in drinking shape, beer pong shape, whatever, meatball sub shape, then that it would be doable. But sometimes I think that, and sometimes I think, no, dude, your body is not the same as your body was.
Yeah.
Way better. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But
Now I'm not even.
I know that I used to have like I used to be able to smoke a cigarette, and nothing would happen. Now if I inhale secondhand smoke, I like my heart rate is elevated at night, and my mattress is like, "Are you okay? Are you dying?" So,
Sorry, someone smoked next to me.
someone in the building next to me, had chewing tobacco and then breathed too loudly.
Man, in his book, Ben Greenfield talks about using nicotine as like the way we use coffee.
Uh-huh. Meaning.
Like it's a nootropic. Not that he's having cigarettes. He's chewing gum. He has toothpicks that are soaked in nicotine of some sort. I don't know.
Then.
I also found when I went home to Beaver this tin of chew that isn't
Oh God.
chew, it's caffeine packs. And
Oh
it's
God.
salted caramel flavor. It's with the little packs, I don't know what they're called in with tobacco, where it's not the loose chew, it's in a little packet. You know what I'm talking about?
Um, yeah, they're called
Dip.
it's
Pods.
dip, but it's not dip. It's I know what you're talking about. How am I
Okay.
blanking on this right now? I haven't thrown a dip in about 30 years, so I can't I don't know
I've
what I'm talking.
never. But instead, yeah, they took that packaging but put coffee grinds in it.
Patches.
That's what they're called, patches.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. They were on Shark Tank, apparently, according to the tin. Obviously, I purchased it immediately
Pouches.
from,
Pouches.
yeah, pouches. That's it. And you put it in your lip the same way, and supposedly it's
And
50 milligrams, and it slowly releases stevia flavored coffee grinds with a little caramel taste. It's pretty
Oh my
awesome and
God.
feels like it's horrible for you.
It feels like it feels like it is provably horrible.
But it is
So
cool
did
to
you get
have
it
it in my
some?
bag. Every time you have caffeine, I mean, like, withholding your giant bag of baking soda, you have to keep a can of something with you, right? If I want caffeine in the afternoon, I have to prep, and now I've got a Prime in my backpack or whatever. You have to locate it. This is
Yeah.
something I can keep consistently in my backpack and just know that I'll always have caffeine if I need it. If that makes
In case of
sense.
emergency.
Yeah.
Break
Just
glass in case of emergency. Yeah.
which I've only done it twice because I'm like, I don't even it feels bad for your gums, you know what I mean? I doubt they put
No, yeah.
fiberglass in it like they do with the other stuff, but whew,
God, dipping is so gross. And so many of my friends used to dip. Did your friends ever dip? Did you dip?
it was cool. I've never, but yeah, I mean, I saw people do it because that's what cool people did, probably.
So sometimes you'd have a little piece, and then sometimes you would do a full, if you did all around your gums, it was called a horseshoe. And then sometime my roommate or my friends in college used to do a double horseshoe, uppers and lowers. It was so gross.
Wow.
And then they would bounce off the walls.
So it was fun. It felt like stimulation.
I wasn't a big fan of it because it's easy to overdose, gently overdose on tobacco, meaning like you get sick and you don't feel very good and
Yeah, nauseous.
you get nauseous. And so for me, the delivery system of dipping was not conducive, and also I
Delivery system.
didn't really like it. Yeah, I didn't. I don't know. I just never got into it. I thought it was kind of gross.
Yeah, and you have to spit.
You constantly have to
Yeah.
spit. You have spitters everywhere. Just Gatorade bottles of black tar. Disgusting spit.
Ugh. Yeah, so imagine taking your lovely coffee and turning it into that, because that's
Do you spit
sensible.
with the coffee pouches? Yeah, you
No,
must, right?
no.
No.
You could just
So
swallow
you're
it.
basically you are your own espresso machine. Your mouth
Yeah,
is the
you're
brew.
steeping in your mouth. It's a filtered coffee, and your lip is the filter.
Oh, that's so gross,
Yeah,
but
it's
also
super weird.
hilarious.
But it made it to market, at
So where
least
do we
in
get them?
Beaver County. It was at like,
Beaver
not even a
County.
7-Eleven. It's a generic 7-Eleven place. Yeah. But I am back on caffeine. I did a 13-day no caffeine detox. It was
Detox.
supposed to be 10, and then I just kept going.
And
I've only done
ugh,
this once before. It was definitely easier the second time. But
um,
now
what did you
I'm
notice?
doing that gap between waking up and having caffeine. Andrew Huberman
Yeah,
talks about
I do
this,
that too.
where you wake up, wait 2 hours, and then you're allowed to have caffeine because your body can't process adenosine as best as well. If you have caffeine immediately after waking up, you have to let your body clear out that adenosine, and then it's okay.
Hmm. But I'm still staring directly into the sun, right? In from
Yeah,
my ice bath.
it is. I feel exhausting.
While journaling underwater, or I have my waterproof pen
Surely,
and notebook so I can journal
waterproof
in my ice
journal.
bath.
We need to sell that, maybe as
Write
a
it
joke.
down.
Oh my goodness, a waterproof journal so that you can ice bath and journal at the same time. It's so efficient. Oh my
And
God.
goggles.
That's pretty great. Yeah, but they're blue blocking goggles or whatever.
Oh,
So great.
that's such a niche joke. That's so funny to me and you because we're so like surrounded by these morning routine nerds all the time, and like
Yeah.
it's so funny. I hope it's funny to other people. Whatever, who cares?
I mean, whatever. It hits we're the coffee nerds of fitness, so
Yeah,
somebody
that's
else
true.
is out there. All right, it's been 2 hours now. I can have actual coffee, so I'm out.
Americana?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ugh.
Americano?
All right, next time I visit, I'll let you make me one. See if you can.
Americana.
Oh,
It might
Americano.
be a little, it might be a little strong for you.
The active choice. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Do you do a double shot when you pull?
I do a double shot. Double shot,
Because
and now
I've
so now I do it.
yeah.
Now I do a actual hot water. I don't do the rest of it. I think the other portafilter wasn't pulling it hard enough. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to nerd out on you with my triple portafilter or something,
You're
or
pulling
double
me
double
in.
BO.
I get sucked into this nerd thing.
That's how it goes. That's
All
how it
right, Fitheads.
goes.
If you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts, that helps us out a whole lot. Let us know if you're coffee nerd in the comments and you're offended by Max, or if you think that his post is hilarious. And we'll see you next week.